I still remember trying Time Machine out for the first time shortly after upgrading my 2006 iMac to macOS 10.5 Leopard. It was seamless, and having previously only ever backed up by burning, labeling, and sometimes misplacing CDs, I was beyond impressed. Of course, Leopard's Time Machine is not a solution that extends to earlier equipment, so although I don't usually back up my old machines, as all applications and games can be reacquired, there is one among them, used a lot more than the rest, which would take significantly longer to restore should something untoward happen to its hard disk. This is my trusty Pismo. King among OS 9 laptops, at least as far as I'm concerned, I decided it was about time to mitigate the risk of having the hard disk die on me. And so today, on YesterYear's Mac Upgrades, we're going to be swapping out the 7200 RPM 60GB hard disk in here, which was itself an upgrade from what it would have sold with an SSD. To help us along, I figured I'd try out a backup application of this computer's era, and for a couple of quid on eBay, picked up a copy of Retrospect Express 4.1. This is a simple to use backup and recovery solution for Macs running System 7 and later, although as I found out, it wasn't best suited for OS 9. It was too old to know what FireWire was, and I ran into a handful of issues while trying to use this on the Pismo. 4.1 is best suited for older machines then, and will still be useful to me, but for what I need to do, I've booted the Pismo into 10.2 YesterYear and acquired version 5.1 of Retrospect off of the garden. Long-time viewers of this channel will be familiar with this machine. I did an overview of it just over a year ago, which I'll link to in various locations, but to summarise the specs, there's a 400MHz PPC 750, or G3 as it's better known, an upgraded 1GB of RAM, ATI Rage Mobility 128 graphics with 8MB of SD RAM, and soon to be 128GB of solid-state storage, which is a wee bit larger than the 6 or 10 gigs of spinning Rust that this shipped with. Visually, the only thing that sets this hard disk apart from modern ones is the connector. While contemporary ones are generally connected with SATA, the Pismo has a 44-pin IDE connector. To get at the hard disk, the keyboard flips up to enable a cross screwdriver to undo 2 screws on this flappy bit of heatsink, which gives the user more space to pull out the hard disk cradle. 4 Torx screws hold it in place, and once disconnected from the ribbon, I'm now in a fantastic position to put it all back the way I found it, as I've gotten a bit ahead of myself and disassembled the machine before actually backing it up. So, how do we copy this? Over to here. The Pismo only had one disk drive bay, as one would expect, so they can't both be plugged in at the same time. Well, here's where Retrospect comes in. The application will make a nice wee duplicate of the hard disk on this Formac Disk 250 XTR. It connects easily enough through FireWire 400, although it will need some preparation first. To kick things off then, as I'm going to be booting off of here anyway halfway through the process, the drive needs to be a size that OS 9 can boot off of. The max is supposedly 200, so we'll be using YesterYear's disk utility to partition it into 2, as OS 9 needs third-party utilities to achieve this sort of thing. Once appropriately split in half, we can get round to using Retrospect. Now, 4.1, which I'm demonstrating here on this 14-inch iBook G3, is best suited for removable media. A single Jazz disk could usually handle everything that a machine of the application's era could throw at it, but most people had cheaper external storage. Floppy disks, or zip disks. The games folder that I'm experimenting with here is a couple of 100MB, which is more than these zip 100 disks can hold. However, Retrospect is able to split a backup between multiple disks, so appropriate labeling is important. The application works by specifying a storage set which holds details on what to back up. So here I've set it as the games folder, and simply hit backup to start the procedure. Retrospect 5 doesn't really function all that different, although I'm going to be selecting the option to clone a drive here. The internal drive and all of its data then will be copied over to the external and then verified. It's a slow process, and I could have helped myself out by deleting some unnecessary ISO files, but after that, heading into the startup disk options did indeed show the ability to boot from OS X and OS 9 from 2 different locations. The only snag I hit was it hanging on a white screen when attempting to boot into OS 9 off of the external drive if the machine had previously been turned off. It would only restart into it when told to from the internal. Nevertheless, you can see here on the desktop that the internal Pismo disk is not the boot volume, and YesterYear is what I need anyway. The incoming hardware is a 128GB mSATA solution that I got off eBay, sat inside a 2.5-inch enclosure to convert it to IDE. Post-switcheroo and the disk utility recognised it absolutely fine, which was a real relief. You never know a solution is truly going to work until you see it working. During one of the transfers, I switched on the processor monitor to see how hard it was working, and it seemed to be at full pelt, suggesting that maybe faster Macs could have orchestrated this process even quicker. Now, a performance increase can usually be assumed when upgrading to an SSD. However, the Pismo is 20 years old, and counting. Can the rest of the hardware keep up with its capabilities? Is the IDE interface able to transfer data fast enough? Is this cheap device, inside another cheap device, actually capable of better performance anyway? I couldn't think of any decent tests beyond timing how long it took the machine to start up, so let's put the old hard disk against the new one and throw in the external drive because I have the recording, might as well, and see what we get. Differences in startup time then are by the by. There is a marginal improvement, but this was always going to be a byproduct of my real intentions, having a backup of my main classic macOS computer and switching out the hard disk in this 20-year-old machine with something that I should hope will happily last another 20 years. Fingers crossed. The old hard disk will make for a nice upgrade for my spare Pismo, which still has the stock one installed, so overall, I can be quite pleased. I feel it's important to mention that Retrospect is not the only backup solution available for pre-Leopard Macs, and for all I know, it probably isn't the best. This is just the one that I decided to try out, and it seems to have done a decent job of it. Well, almost. I don't believe that cloning a drive is necessarily flawless, and one thing I did notice when booting into OS 9 on the SSD was that a few visual settings had been lost. ADOC and this replacement control strip application that I have had both forgotten what skins had been applied, so I can only wonder if there are any other flaws nested deep within the systems folder that may rear their ugly heads later on. Time will tell. So with that, we come to the conclusion of this admittedly rather dry edition of YY's MG. I'm very curious to hear what you made of it, so please make good use of the comment section. Otherwise, make sure you're subscribed to keep on top of future content, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.